Once upon a time, there was a little village, home to a little boy named Sangku. As the sun rose in the morning, the little boy named Sangku got up, stretched, and looked out the window at the sea crashing in the distance. As Sangku slowly got out of bed, he heard his family calling. Sangku, could you come here for a moment, please?
I'm coming!
Thank you. You scamper down to the kitchen, and there is your mom. It's a small house, but you make do. And as she stands by the kitchen, she's looking at you a little bit unhappy. And she says, Sangku, you didn't clean up the food last night.
Oh, I'm sorry, I got distracted.
What did you get distracted by? This is your job. Papa catches the food, I cook it, and you clean it. But if you don't do it, then that's holding up everything else, because now I need to go cleaning the dishes and make sure that there's no food scraps left out, because you know what happens when there's food scraps left out.
The bugs get to it?
The grindylows get to it, Sangku. They can smell rotting food from a mile away. They'll come into the village early and start demanding... It's not...
I'm sorry.
It's fine. Look, I'll do it now. But you're going to have to do my jobs instead, okay? And my jobs are harder than cleaning dishes.
Okay.
I'll write them down, okay? But please, listen to me. And she kind of gets on one knee now. When you have a job to do, it's important that you do it. You can have fun if you want, but doing what you're meant to do is the most important thing a person can do in their lives, okay?
Okay. I'm sorry.
It's okay. But please, don't... It's important.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, she writes down a little list of many, many chores for you to do, Sangku. Exhales and gets to work cleaning. As you scamper away, she kind of looks out the window, following you, and she sighs a little bit. It is important that there's no scraps left out overnight. We really don't want to attract the grindylows. Sangku, how do you do your chores?
I think Sangku is a chatty little child. So I do think he does them, but I don't think that they get done as fast as his mother would probably like. He gets distracted talking to any adult that will listen to him about anything. You can't really help it. He's little and he likes talking. But I do think he does the chores. He doesn't want to get in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Well, Sangku, as you are scampering around, doing your jobs one by one, eventually it comes to the part where you're supposed to pick up shells on the beach. You know, just to make a little birthday present for a neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
As you are going, one shell, the next shell, the next shell, picking up the prettiest shells you can, Sangku, you see an incredibly beautiful shell. It is iridescent, glittering a little bit in the sand. You don't know, like, you've never seen a shell quite like that before. That would be perfect for the birthday gift. What do you do?
Sangku looks around, making sure that nobody else has spotted the shell, and he picks the shell up. I think he's excited about it because I think he was waiting to do this particular job because it sounded like the most fun of the jobs that he had to do.
Well, Sangku, as you pick up the shell, suddenly there's a booming voice. And emerging from thin air, just with a splash of bubbles in the air, a mighty shadow looms before you, and he says, "Who dares to touch my shell?"
Ah! Sangku stumbles backwards onto his butt.
Suddenly before you, Sangku, is a wicked beast, a dragon, floating in the air. It's got snarling teeth and spiky horns and big bulbous eyes. As this dragon looms before you, silhouetted by the sun behind him, the dragon says, You there, young boy. Is it you who has touched my shell?
Don't eat me!
The dragon looks momentarily perplexed before... No! I wouldn't eat you, but I would eat someone else if they displeased me.
So you'd eat somebody?
Maybe.
Sangku looks really scared.
He's like, you're not mad that I picked up your shell, are you?
It depends. What is your name, boy?
Sangku?
Sangku. Are you from this village, Sangku?
Yes.
Then, my boy, you are a son of Balam, and therefore a son of mine. My name is Lolo Sadagat, the grandfather of the sea. I am a mighty sea dragon who birthed this village aeons ago. I was once a mighty sea spirit before I was trapped in this form by the wicked celestial dragon. But by having touched my shell, you have released me from my 1,000-year slumber, and I shall grant upon you the power of the Witch Prince of the Sea as you engage in a grand quest to eventually reclaim my forgotten powers from the celestial dragon, that great worm who eats the sky. Do you accept, boy?
You don't mind if I finish my chores first?
My boy, my quest outweighs all chores.
I already made my mom upset. I don't want to upset her anymore.
This is a grand quest, young boy. You will learn magic, and you will go on adventures, and you will learn all there is to know about the power of the sea.
Magic?
That's right! The sea dragon surges forward a little bit, kind of floating in front of your face now with that scary mouth of teeth.
Sangku is all, like, his hands are at his chest. He's like holding the shell.
The greatest magic you will have ever seen. I will teach you how to create torrents of water, how to make it rain, how to make it sunny. I will let you create storms. I will let you fly. I will let you turn into a dragon.
Whoa.
All of this power is yours, young Sangku. You will be no longer just Sangku, but Sangku, the Witch Prince of the Sea.
Okay.
That is what I taught, young man. Now, take that seashell and crush it to dust in your hand.
I'll have to find another shell then.
What
I was collecting shells for my neighbor.
Forget your other chores, boy. Adventure and excitement awaits you.
I definitely have to finish these. Okay.
And he crushes the shell.
Okay, Sangku, you crush that shell, and it turns into dust in your hand. Suddenly, as it does so, there is a flash of light, and magic shoots down your side. It goes over your clothes, and suddenly, where brown rags were, there is a flash of white. A beautiful pink cape unfurls behind you. A little crown pops into existence atop your head, and you are suddenly dressed as a beautiful prince. And this strange dragon, Lolo Sadagat, he nods sagely and says, "It worked. You truly are destined to be the Witch Prince of the Sea."
Really?
Yes! Only a witch prince would have been able to activate this powerful magic.
He looks down at his hands, and he's like,
I didn't I didn't know I'd be so cool.
Yes, my boy. And you'll become even cooler once I teach you some ice magic. Now, you are my pupil and I am your teacher. How about I begin teaching you your first spells?
I want to learn spells.
Let's begin then. Put your foot left and as then your Lolo right. Explains to you how to cast your first spell, Sangku, despite everything, you forget all about your chores. A few hours pass, and eventually, you, I think, have maybe done your first spell. Probably just a cantrip. Mm-hmm. But I think you've done Spout, and I think Lolo has been very proud of you for doing that. He's a strange man, but he isn't as scary as you first thought, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, he startled a little kid, so that would scare Sangku, but he seems kind of silly.
Mm-hmm. As you're sitting there, Lolo is kind of waddling up and down in a line in front of you, kind of like pacing a little bit, and he says, "Excellent work! You show such great potential, young Sangku. Now, I suppose next we could teach you...
It's late!
Oh, well yes, it is quite late. Do you need to rest, young Sangku?
My mom's gonna be so mad at me. I have to go home.
Well, I suppose, but you know, a life of adventure awaits you. You can't stay in this village, you'll need to go all around the world.
How old is he right now?
You're fucking 12.
Well, I don't know if I'm old enough to do that yet.
You are plenty old enough. You have 2 legs and you can speak. That means you're old enough.
My mom still orders for me when we go to the food stalls.
Then I shall have to teach you how to order for yourself.
I definitely have to go home. She's gonna be really upset with me. I finished most of the chores. Can you help me find a shell or 2?
There, he points at a random one. That's a nice one, I think.
Sangku, quickly, goes up to it and picks it up and puts it into his bag, and he's like,
do you... I have to go, okay?
All right.
And Sangku dusts himself off. He gets the sand off of his outfit, and he's like, how do you... Can you... Are these... What happened to my clothes?
Oh, I wouldn't worry about that, young man. It's a much nicer outfit. And he hops onto your shoulder, and he's quite heavy. Come, take us home!
Sanku's shoulder goes down a little bit, and he's like, okay! And he very nervously goes home.
As you are running home, Sangku, you pass by now it's late, and you're definitely going to be in trouble for staying out late. But as you pass by an open window, you hear your mom and dad talking inside. And they say, Are we going to have enough gold by the end of the month for the Grindylows? And your dad replies as, I'm sure we will. We need to make sure that they're not attracted early into the village like last month. Because people were leaving out scraps of food, they smelled it and they came in and they started demanding the gold early. We don't want to be late with our payments, okay? But we can do this. And Sangku, as you're hearing this, Lolo's on your shoulder and says, Is this your house, boy?
Uh-huh.
And he nods this, Well then, take us in!
Okay.
He's like fighting himself to open the door. He's so nervous. He's so nervous right now. You have no idea. And he opens the door and he says, I'm home.
As you come inside, Sangku, your mom and your dad both turn and they stare at you. before...
He's very much not looking at them in the eye. I need you to know that.
Yeah. I think they're not looking at you. I think they look at you for a moment, then they look at your clothes, and then they look at Lolo on your shoulder. And they're like, Sangku, what is that on your shoulder?
A dragon.
Greetings, everyone! My name is Lolo Sadagat, and I was the dragon who founded your village. I have accepted Sangku as my apprentice. He from henceforth shall be known as Sangku, Witch Prince of the Sea.
His face is quite bright.
And there's a long, long pause before your mom turns to you and says, Sangku, what is... Excuse me?
I was doing my chores. And I picked up this shell, and then a dragon came out of nowhere, and...
I think your mom's about to get, kind of mad at you, for bringing a strange dragon into your house.
Mm-hmm.
But then, your dad says, sorry, what did you say your name was? Lolo Sadagat? That is correct, young man. And your dad pulls your mom aside and says, Bula, I've heard stories about this dragon. He's the dragon who was the ancestor to people of Balam village. He's I suppose my ancestor. She's like, what? What do you mean? What's he doing here? What's with our Sangku? I don't know. He said it was apprentice. Whisper, whisper, whisper. Whisper, whisper, whisper. Whisper, whisper, whisper.
Sangku is whispering to Lolo. He goes,
They're really mad at me.
Nonsense, my boy! Your parents aren't mad at you. They're very proud for taking on this grand new goal.
Sanku's face is so hot, and he's covering it.
I think Sangku, as he's saying this, your mom and dad turn and look at you. And then they go back to mumbling for a moment before your mom says, Sangku, I'm sorry, but you have too many other things to be doing than to become the apprentice to a dragon. Mr. Sadagat, maybe if you came back in a few years, then he would be ready, but he's got far too much he's supposed to be doing around Balam village.
I already learned a spell, though.
That's wonderful, Sangku. That's very impressive. But we need you here in the village. We need you to help with farming and with fishing and with cleaning. You got too much to be doing to just go off traipsing with a dragon.
But...
No buts, Sangku. What I say goes, okay? Your most important job is to do what you're meant to do. And I decide what that is, okay?
Okay.
Now...
I finished most of the chores.
Which chores didn't you do? I will handle that afterwards. Mr. Sadagat, thank you very much for coming. Maybe you can talk to the village elders and we can figure out what to do if you are the dragon from the story. But, yes, it was very nice of you to drop in. And Lolo huffs and says, well, I say. All right, then. I say, Sangku, I shall return in a few years or something. Bye. And he slitters out of the window.
Bye.
And your dad looks... I had always imagined that Lolo Sadagat would be bigger. Of course that wasn't your dragon from the story. Dragons aren't 2 feet long. They're massive. That was some trickster spirit trying to make Sangku do something irrational. Sangku, you know what? Why don't you just go to bed? We'll discuss more in the morning, okay?
Okay.
And
Sangku walks to his room.
how are you doing, Sangku, after that strange day?
I think it was really odd because he felt bad because he doesn't like getting into trouble. He still gets into trouble, but he doesn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was really excited to be picked for something so special. And I think he was even more excited when he successfully casted a spell. And I think part of him was hoping that his mom would think it was cool too. So I think he feels kind of bad. And he feels weird. And I don't think he knows what to do with that.
Well, thank you. As you're drifting off to sleep, you are awoken in the morning before your mother would wake you up. At the crack of sunrise, there's a plump against your window. Sangku, my boy, out here! Come on, up, awake, I'm outside!
5 more minutes.
No, if I give you 5 more minutes, your mother will come in and take you away for the day. But we've got an adventure to go on, Sangku, come out here!
Okay, hold on.
And he pushes himself up and he's like,
Lolo.
That's
Oh,
right,
is that a
Sangku.
guy?
Shh, keep it down. I didn't go to the town elder last night. I don't really particularly care. I'm here for you, all right?
Really?
Yes, I really. Listen to me. I've had an idea.
What's the...
he comes up to the window and he opens it and he goes,
What's the idea?
Well, you know how to cast spout now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear what your mother and father were saying as we approached last night? That there were Grindylows in town causing trouble.
Yeah, I got in trouble because I left food out the other night.
Well, then that's just what we'll do. We'll go, we'll find these Grindylows, and we'll punish them. We'll show them the power of justice. And then we will be able to show your parents that you being a witch prince is far more important than you being a fisherman.
Do you really think that'll work?
I know it'll work. Come on, quickly, let's go. And then afterwards we can spend the whole day training again.
I'm gonna be in a lot of trouble.
No, nonsense, my boy. Listen, Grindylows are they're not dangerous. Well, they're a little dangerous, but now that you have the power of magic on your side, I am fully confident you'll be able to dispatch them.
Okay. Okay.
All right. You just go through your morning as always, but keep on your witch prince outfit, and when you're sent out for chores, come to me and we'll go solve this together.
Okay.
Sangku, you go through the morning as normal, but when you're sent out to do your daily chores, Lolo is with you, and he kind of floats out onto your shoulder and says, "All right. Now, I've done some looking around, and I think these Grindylows are on the South Beach. Let's go and show them the power of a good spout, all right?"
Okay.
Let's go! Sangku, as you rush out to the South Beach, you appear, and there indeed are some Grindylows. They look like goblins. Round-headed, big bulbous eyes, pointed ears, sharp teeth, but from the waist down, instead of looking like a regular goblin, where their legs would be are the 8 tentacles of an octopus. These blue sea goblins are around a little campfire, chittering with one another. They seem to be roasting a fish together to eat. And Lolo says, "All right, Sangku, remember, use your spout and really channel it as hard as you can and knock these Grindylows away, all right?"
Okay. Okay. I can do it.
So Sangku, do you approach them?
mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think Sangku comes up to them and with all the confidence that a 12-year-old can muster, he points to them and he says,
Hey, you guys!
Yeah! The Grindylows all turn together, and one hops to his feet and says, "Ow, look! Undyne, come down from the village to find us, hmm? Doesn't he know that little boys get turned into seafood out here? Yeah!" And the other's like, "Ha, seafood! It's a good one. It's because he's a fish as well."
That was a bad one.
That's
I'm
right.
gonna defeat you.
That's right. And the Grindylows look perplexed and says, "He's challenging us to a fight? That's stupid. Okay, let's kick his ass." And they pick up a few like sticks with little spears, and they start squaddling forward. And Lolo's like, "All right, Sangku, now remember what I taught you."
Okay.
He puts his hands in front of him. And he says he says an incantation, and he casts a spell.
Thank you. As you are channeling up this water energy, there is a blast of liquid from underneath the sand that knocks the first Grindylow in the jaw, and he goes, and he's knocked stumbling backwards on his ass. The other two Grindylow turn and says,
He's got magic. The boy's got magic.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Snarling, they still squirm forward, tentacles pulling through the sand as they scramble at you. One of them lunges Sangku.
Sangku tries to tumble out of the way.
You do. He splats onto the ground and turns and whips you. And goes,
Ew! I think he casts Spout again.
The Grindylow is knocked falling backwards, and the last of the Grindylows looks at the two others, and he seems suddenly very nervous. Like,
you know what? You win. Bye.
And he tumbles off into the water, fleeing. And Lolo gets on your shoulder, Sangku, and says, "Sangku, well done! You did so amazing!"
I beat them.
You did! Using your magic! You are a worthy apprentice indeed!
I really beat them.
Mm-hmm.
I was really nervous.
Well, now you don't have to be nervous anymore, boy. Look at you!
I have to tell people that I beat the Grindylows, and we should be safe now.
That's an excellent idea. Let's go, Sangku!
Okay.
But perhaps, maybe, we can do a little bit of training first because as soon as we get back, they'll just tell us that we're not allowed, that we have to throw a party, I assume. But I want to do a bit of more magic with you first. Would you like to just spend some time with me, maybe?
Yeah. I'm sorry my parents kicked you out.
No, nonsense. Now they'll see me as a powerful sea dragon and understand that I am truly Lolo Saragat, the mighty sea dragon, and they won't do anything so foolish as to doubt me ever again.
You're pretty powerful.
Now, let's get some training done, shall we?
Okay. Will you teach me a new spell, or?
Oh, yes. I have some spells I'm thinking of already.
Okay.
Sangku, you and Lolo train together for some time. You practice cantrips, you practice spells, and truly you are learning the ins and outs of how to conjure magic. It's all very rudimentary stuff, but with enough training, you might be able to do something incredible with it. A few hours later, however, you see something that snaps you out of your training, Sangku. And it's smoke. Smoke rising from Balam village.
Lolo Sadaka, look!
What? Oh! And indeed, there is a fair bit of it coming up in plumes from the village. He hops onto your shoulder and says, perhaps they heard in advance and they're they're cooking us some lechon?
No. I'm afraid something bad happened. We need to go back.
All right, well, lead the way.
Okay.
Sangku runs with Lolo back to the village.
Okay. The two of you dash. And when you get to the village, Sangku, you are right. Something bad did happen. A few stilted houses on the in the center of town seem to have been set on fire. And they're being doused now, but it looks like a big fight happened in the town. And your mom and your dad are outside their house looking devastated.
This was my fault.
What do you mean, Sangku?
What if when we beat them, the last Grindylow that we let, that was able to leave, What if they got somebody to do this?
Why don't we ask and find out?
Okay.
The two of you... Do you go to your mom?
Yeah.
Okay. Your mom turns and she sees Lolo and says, What is he doing here, Sangku?
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. You're not hurt? You weren't...
No, I wasn't in the village.
Why weren't you in the village? That's not important. Sangku, we might need to move away, I think.
What? Why?
Balam village is a very nice place, but there's... In the waters around the village, there are a lot of pirates. And some of these pirates, they would attack villages. But if we gave them gold every month, they wouldn't come get us. But for some reason, even though we have been paying them, those bad pirates came and they attacked the village. And they took all of our stuff, Sangku, back out to sea. They have a little island that's full of all their treasure and now all of our stuff, and I don't think it's safe for us to live in Balam village anymore.
But...
And I think your dad comes over and says, I'm sorry, Sangku. I know it's sad to hear, but I would rather that we go somewhere new than stay in our ancestral home, if it means that you're not in any danger.
No, It's my fault.
No! You know what? You know what? Lolo suddenly gets on your shoulder, Sangku. I reckon that these pirates, they probably came here because of me. And I think by now a few people in the town turn to look at Lolo and says, perhaps when they heard of my reawakening, they decided that it was time to raid you and get rid of me. And I'm terribly sorry for that. It's my fault and my fault alone. I think the people in town don't look particularly happy about that. Maybe if I go out there, they won't come back. You should all go get out of Balam village, and I'll see what I can do about them myself, okay? The great Lolo Sadagat surely has some power left in him to take on these wicked pirates.
But... you could get hurt.
No, Sangku. You haven't known me for very long, but it's better that an old fool like me were to get hurt than for the entire village. You just do what your mama says, and I'll take care of everything. And with that, he flies into the air and says, All right, everyone, I'm going to go take care of those pirates. You all get out of here and make a new home elsewhere. And someone says, Who are you? I'm no one special. Don't worry about it. Just go get out of here. I'm a sea dragon and I'll make things right. That's all you need to know. And with that, Lolo gets off. And your mom puts a hand on your shoulder, Sangku, and says, We'll start getting everything we need to start moving out, okay?
Okay. I'm sorry.
You've got nothing to be sorry for, Sangku. You didn't do anything wrong.
But
She's already turned her back on you and's gone to do all the preparation to get out of here.
I don't know that Sangku does what he's told.
What does he do?
I think he looks really natural for a little bit. And as soon as nobody's eyes are on him, I think he slips out of the village and he goes to look for Lolo.
You find Lolo pretty easily. He's on the South Beach. And it looks like he's preparing a ritual of some sort. And there's no way for Sangku to know what this is.
Mm-hmm.
To a more trained eye, they might recognize that Lolo is in the middle of preparing a control weather ritual to create a tidal wave.
Whoa.
When everyone's out of Balam village, it'll get rid of the pirates, but the town that he created centuries and centuries ago would be wiped off the map. It's a fitting punishment for a fool's folly like that. He doesn't know what he was thinking. Trying to get more time in the spotlight after having been forgotten. It was all just a bit silly, wasn't it? They'll just wait until everyone's gone and do what needs to be done.
Lolo?
Sangku!
Hi.
Sangku, you can't be here. You were a very good apprentice, Sangku, but I think perhaps it was a little bit silly of me to take on an apprentice. I'm not a very good teacher sometimes.
That's not true. You've taught me I didn't know any magic. And now I can cast spells and stuff.
You can cast Spout. It's one cantrip.
But I don't want to stop being your apprentice. I really like learning from you, and I really like magic, and I want to help you. I don't want to move out of my village. I don't like that pirates, these bad guys, can take money from the people who live here. I didn't really understand. But if they're hurting people, I want to help do something about it.
Lolo looks at you, Sangku. And for a moment, he sees in you the children that he raised hundreds and hundreds of years ago. The reason that he wanted to have an apprentice. He sees in you a reflection of Balam village, something that he created and now gets to see grow. And I think he's quiet for a moment as he takes that in before he nods his head a bit and says, alright. Well then, Sangku, perhaps I think we might be able to show those pirates who's boss, but we're going to need a plan.
Okay.
Here's what I'm thinking. And he fills you in on a masterful plan. The two of you nod, and you start putting together a little boat out of some you start putting together a little boat out of some trees on the edge of the. You start putting together a little boat made out of driftwood. On an island not too far from Balam village, a couple of Grindylows squirm, and sitting on a throne is the pirate king of Balam village, King Big Bastos. He's a particularly corpulent Grindylow, sitting in a throne made of shells and chewing on an entire swordfish on a stick. As one of the Grindylows comes and puts some more treasure in front of him that they recently stole from Balam village, he looks down and snorts as,
I like that one. What is it? Is it some sort of painting? They have paintings in that village. Oh, we should use that one to fuel the fire tonight. It looks particularly flammable.
and then the other one's like,
King Bastos, you are so kind and generous.
And another one goes,
Big Bastos, you are the lord of the Grindylows, the smartest and cleverest and prettiest.
and Bastos nods and says, yes.
I am all of those things, aren't I?
When suddenly another one says,
King Bastos! On the horizon, there's a ship approaching us.
Bastos leans forward and says,
Is it a merchant freighter from Goka? No, Big Bastos. Is it travelers from beyond Tiansha? No, Big Bastos. Then what is it? It seems to be a prepubescent boy and a little worm of some sort.
and then a particularly beaten up Grindylow says,
A prepubescent boy? A worm? But that's what bed us up!
and suddenly there's a chattering and clamoring from all around, and Big Bastos raises a hand and says,
Silence, everyone! If it is the boy and the dragon, then we shall have their heads.
On the ship, Sangku, Lolo says, okay, do you remember the plan? This'll be risky, but if we can do this, we'll save Balam village.
Yeah, I don't want this village to get hurt because of me. Or because of these guys.
It wouldn't be because of you one way or another, Sangku. Now, remember our training. Remember, spout. Focus on casting spout. The little ship arrives, and immediately there's all sorts of Grindylow on the edge of the island, turning and snarling, kind of like poking their spears at you. There is a single hut on the island, and that is the hut of Big Bastos. What do you do, Sangku?
Sangku points at them, and he pushes one of their spears out of the way. He's like, stop, it's annoying. Like, he makes a face at them, like a scary face.
You just take me to your leader right now.
What if we killed you instead?
I won't let you. I'll kick your butt before you can.
The two of them glance at each other.
You know that I've beaten a few of you.
Oh, I think that makes them raise their, kind of widen their eyes, and the two Grindylows turn and look at each other and go, before squirming and making their way inland towards the hut of Big Bastos. And there's Big Bastos, eating that swordfish on a stick, looking down at you.
So, you are the witch prince who attacked my minions. Has Balam village forgotten its agreement with me? Give us gold at the end of every month, and my Grindylow pirates won't ravage your people.
They haven't forgotten. I just think it's a dumb agreement.
Whoa! And everyone goes, whoa! And one says, kill him! Kill him! And Big Bastos says,
Now, witch prince, you hear how my subjects demand that I kill you? Why shouldn't I? You look much more appetizing than a swordfish on a stick.
he throws it over his shoulder.
Ew. You better not try, because I'll kick your butt.
You would not kick my butt. I'm far too powerful. Give me one good reason why I shouldn't kick your butt, witch prince.
Lolo's on your shoulder, and he kind of looks at you, side-eyes and nods.
No?
No.
Sangku is like, this is why, and he picks Lolo up off his shoulder and holding him kind of like the way that you'd hold a football.
Mm-hmm.
And he punts Lolo, man.
You punt Lolo fucking as hard as you can into Big Bastos, who is completely taken off guard by this. And Big Bastos goes, and Lolo goes,
So get off me! Get off me!
and as Lolo's mauling this giant Grindylow, he says, no, Sangku!
Okay.
And Sangku casts Spout.
Water bursts from underneath Big Bastos, knocking him to the side. He lets out a
Is this your trick, really?
and he grabs Lolo and he throws him away. And Lolo goes into the wall.
And Sanku's like, oh god. And I think he's gonna just cast Spout again.
A second big rocketing blast of water hits Big Bastos in the chin, and he goes,
Stop doing that! You meddling little boy! You have no idea! This world isn't made for children. It's made for powerful, scary monsters like me.
Nuh-uh, and I'm not gonna stop.
He's just gonna keep fucking going.
I think actually, instead of a spout, as you channel up your magic, Sangku, you bring in more and more water, but instead of exploding from under the ground, this time it comes from your hands, Sangku. And it comes out in a pulsing rush, blasting into Big Bastos' head. And you cast your very first hydraulic push. One day after learning magic for the first time, you are already channeling a first level spell.
Whoa.
Big Bastos is knocked stumbling to his feet, and as he hits the floor, he gets up and he says,
Please have mercy, I'm sorry! No more! I've learned my lesson.
You need to give back all of the treasure and gold that you've stolen. And you need to leave. And don't hurt anybody anymore, or I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna kick your butt again.
I can't do that.
Why not?
Because I just won't.
Okay, then I'll just cast that spell again.
No, please have mercy.
He stumbles back, and all the other Grindylows turn and look at him. And they say,
King Bastos is a pushover.
They all start murmuring and grumbling to each other. They thought because he was the biggest, he'd be the strongest. But a 12-year-old Undine boy who just learned magic yesterday is kicking his butt. Big Bastos turns and sees how everyone's mumbling to each other, and he turns his...
All right, Witch Prince, take back your accursed treasure, and we'll leave this place. But if our paths ever cross again, we shall show you no such mercy.
And then you hear, "Rrrr!" and Lolo lunges out and bites onto his arm and says,
Get off! I said I'd surrender! Get off!
Lola, you can... Lolo, you can stop.
We see Balam village, and everyone's packing up. Bula comes out to her husband and sees him sitting on a rock overlooking the sea. And she says, Is everything okay? And he says, Yeah, this is where I grew up, you know? It'll be sad to leave Balam village. And just after Sangku made a new friend, too. Oh, don't worry too much about that Lolo Sadagat fellow. I really don't think he's the dragon from the legend. He's too small. And your dad's about to say something before he looks up and he sees out on the horizon. Hey, what's that? And there, making your way back to the dry land, is a little boat made of driftwood with a huge amount of stuff tied onto a bigger boat that's being pulled along behind it. It's all the stuff from Balam village. Sangku, when you come back, you are celebrated as a hero. People cheer and chant for you as you redistribute all the stolen stuff. When they hear that you scared away the pirates for good, people are amazed. There's already talks about throwing you a little feast to thank you for all your hard work. Lolo gets a lot of attention as well as people shower him in praise, which he seems especially delighted about. And as everyone is cheering for you and telling you that you, Sangku, Witch Prince of the Sea, saved Balam village, you, Sangku, Witch Prince of the Sea, are a hero. Your mom comes up to you, Sangku, and says, You did all of this?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't want to leave. And I didn't think it was fair that those Grindylows got to steal their stuff just because they were a little stronger than everybody.
Well then, Sangku, I'm sorry for telling you that you couldn't hang out with Mr. Lolo Sadagat. It appears he really is a powerful dragon, And Lolo says, that is correct. And she kind of bows her head a little bit and says, it would appear I have a lot to learn from Mr. Lolo as well. So for now, Sangku, at least, you can continue being a hero and an adventurer instead of doing chores. But you have to keep this town safe, okay? That is the new thing that you must do.
Okay, I can keep the village safe.
Of course, one day, Sangku, will have to go beyond the village and see the rest of the world. We have many adventures to go on, don't we?
Yeah.
But for now,
I do.
why don't we take care of Balam village and make sure it can grow and thrive into something beautiful?
I'd like that.
Now, why don't we try training a little bit before the feast tomorrow? I wonder if I can teach you another cantrip before then.
I'd like that. Did you see how I casted that water spell?
Hydraulic push! Yes, it's quite a fanciful spell, isn't it? You conjure up a blast of water in a torrent that shoots out in a line 60 feet long, and if you hit someone strong enough... And as Lolo trails off, explaining to you the ins and outs of spellcasting, as your mom looks at you, knowing that she has raised a hero to take care of their home, as Lolo connects with a student for the first time in hundreds of years, Sangku, Witch Prince of the Sea, your adventure has only just begun.